Мен Нұрғали Өтешұлы Қошқар, химиялық технология және экологиялық кафедрасының профессоры. Сіздерге топырақтану және экологиялық биоклиматология бойынша дәрісті ағылшын тілінде өтем. Ecological bioclimatology. Lesson 1. Introduction. Lecturer Professor Koshkar Nurgali Puteshevich. Plan of the lecture. What ecological bioclimatology studies? Tests of ecological bioclimatology. Method of ecological bioclimatology. Bioclimatology from bio and climatology, study about an influence of climate on biological objects. It explores the direct and indirect linkages between climate factors and other organisms, plants, animals, and man. Bioclimatology is a frontier science located at the intersection of climate science in the breadth atmospheric physics, biology, and medicine. For the human ecology of greatest interest, aspects of bioclimatological human health, human bioclimatology, and agriculture. Climatic factors have a heavy impact on the human body in the break, unhealthy cooling, oxygen deprivation, meteostress, cardiovascular disease, cold allergy. In the environmental bioclimatological, the following general meteorological research methods, observational methods, is that using the device at station posts in the expedition or observing the meteorological characteristics of the environment. The methods of experimentation is staged in natural or laboratory experiments. Lesson 2. Condition and factors of life. 1. Outside the sphere of the earth, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. 2. Inside the sphere of the earth, the crust, mantle, core. 3. Biosphere. The atmosphere, the gases in the top of the ball, which rotated with it. The atmosphere is the habitat of terrestrial organisms except anaerobic bacteria. Ozone, triatomic oxygen. It is located in the layer from the ground to the height of about 70 kilometers. The total mass of ozone in the atmosphere is about 3.2 multiplied 10 degree 9 ton. The maximum amount of ozone is contained at altitudes of 17 to 50 kilometers in the break depending on the latitude and time of year. This layer of the atmosphere called the ozone layer or ozonosphere. Lesson 3. Climate-forming factors. 1. The position of the earth. The total circulation of the atmosphere. 3. The distribution of land and sea. 4. Solar radiation. 5. Types of climate in the bracket, microclimate, mesoclimate, topoclimate, microclimate. Major climate-forming factors. Solar radiation, the circulation of the atmosphere, underlying surface, and the combined influence of climate form in different parts of the globe. Great influence on the climate also has a human economic activity. that alter the physical properties of the underlying surface. The simple, the radiation and their flaws. 1. The radiation as source of energy. 2. Types of radiation. 3. Direct solar radiation, solar constant. 4. Diffuse solar radiation. 5. The total solar radiation. 6. Reflected solar radiation, albedo. 7. All the radiation of the Earth. 8. Counter-atmospheric radiation. 9. Effective radiation. Radiation incoming to the upper boundary of the atmosphere, and then the Earth's surface directly from the Sun in the form of a beam of parallel rays called direct solar radiation. Radiation incoming to the upper boundary of the atmosphere, and then the Earth's surface directly from the Sun in the form of a beam of parallel rays called direct solar radiation. Lesson 5. The radiation in organisms. 1. The spectral composition of the radiant energy. 2. The biological significance. 3. Photosynthetically active radiation. 4. Illumination in plants. In actinometry, this length usually often expressed in micrometers and sometimes in nanometers. The stream of radiant energy at wavelengths conventionally divided into short-wave and long-wave radiation. The spectrum of solar radiation on the boundary of the Earth's atmosphere is almost wavelengths between 0.17 and 4 microkilometer in the terrestrial and atmospheric radiation from 4 to 120 microkilometer. Lesson 6. Work and vital activity of organism. 1. Temperature and biological phenomena. 2. Effect of temperature on ecological processes. The activity of organisms. 3. Thermal regime of habitat. Equation of heat balance. B equals A plus B plus LE, where B is the radiation balance of the active surface, A is the heat flow between the active surface and underlying layers. F is the flow of heat between the surface and surface layer. LE, heat flow associated with the phase transformation of water in the bright evaporation condensation. Lesson 7. The impact of climate on the biota, succession of communities. 1. Vegetation as an indicator of climate. High altitude zoning. 3. Climate and human health. 4. Causes of emergent successions. 5. Food chain, producers, and the cause. Status model stable equilibrium of the ecosystem is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the most important condition for the existence of any ecological system, but in the different communities of its time and the law are not the same. Consistent change of biocenosis, the other called succession. The simplest example of succession, the consistent development of fungi, bacteria in the invertebrates found, tree in the forest. Lesson 8. Water and organism. 1. Water resource of the year. 2. The importance of water in human activities. 3. Water supply and water use, classification and types. 4. The main direction of rational use of water resources. 5. Sources water pollution. 6. MAC harmful substance in water bodies. 7. Organism is indicators of water quality. Hydrosphere, water shell of the earth, which is a combination of the ocean, seas, lakes, rivers, ponds, wetlands, groundwater. The total amount of water on earth 1386 million kilometer cube in the black up in the oceans. The volume of water in it is 338 million kilometer, representing 1970.5% of the total water reserves. The total area of the ocean and seas 2.5 times the area of land. The theme 9. The effect of the body of the pressure and the wind. 1. Atmosphere pressure. 2. Changing of pressure with the height. 3. Air. 4. Wind. Atmospheric pressure is the force with which the pressure on the Earth's surface unit column of air extending from the ground to the top of the atmosphere. Atmospheric pressure was measured in the first half of the 17th century. Italian evangelist Torricelli in the bracket 1647, and the German author Van Giebrich in the bracket 1682, who independently invented liquid barometers. In 1930, for pressure measurement, the new international unit of pressure has been introduced. A bar in the bracket from the Greek baros, gravity, in practice until recently as a pressure unit used also of a bar, millibar, in the bracket milli. The same 10. Ecological tolerance of an organism. 1. Limiting factors. 2. Living minimum law. 3. Zone of tolerance shelter. 4. Tolerance range. 5. Synabiotic and eurobiotic organism. For certain values of factors created, the condition most favorable for the life of organisms. These conditions are said to be optimal in the corresponding area on the scale of factor values optimum. The more derived from the optimum value of the factor, the more inhibited the livelihoods of individuals in connection with the distinguished area of their normal life. Range factor value beyond the borders of the normal life become impossible to individuals called beyond endurance, distinguish lower and upper limits of endurance. The theme 11. Climate and evolution. 1. Geochronology, the images of life on it. 2. Era development of plants and animals. 3. Precambrian, Paleozoic, Mesozoic. 4. Cenozoic, Quaternary period. Archean era in the black earth, the beginning, the most ancient, it covered of earliest period of the East crust. This era lasted more than 1.8 billion years. That is from the beginning of the geological development of the Earth before the appearance of the first sign of life on it. In the Archean format, Earth's crust and was formed the primary sea in which accumulated the first sediments in the very conglomerates, sandstones, and others. The theme 12. The climate classification. 1. Types of climate. 2. Microclimate and phytoclimate. 3. Agroclimatic zoning. Climate classification by Berg. 12 types of climate. 1. External forest. 2. Tundra. 3. Taiga. 4. Deciduous forest of the temperate zone. 5. Monsoon temperate latitude. 6. Steppes. 7. Subtropical Mediterranean. 8. Subtropical forest. 9. Inland deserts temperate zone. 10. Tropical desert. 11. Savan and humid tropics forest. The theme 13. Add this with the condition and fight against them. 1. Droughts and dry wind. 2. Wind erosion of soil. 3. Hail and cause their appearance. 4. Heavy rain showers. 5. Frost. Zero atmospheric drought causes a strong plant transpiration and evaporation from the soil surface and soil drought, characterized by lack of physiological available moisture in the soil to plants. Atmospheric drought usually pressed the soil. Necessary operated to define drought on special hydrothermal index, K and equals Td, where T the air temperature at 13 degrees by Celsius. The deficit humidity 30 hours hectopascal. The theme 14. Agroclimatic resource. Resource solar radiation, light, heat. 2. Availability of moisture. 3. Climate possible harvest. Energy is foundation of agriculture. Total solar radiation, especially of photosynthetically active radiation. Essential for plant growth is the length of the day during the growing season, the number of hours of sunshine. Length of the day in the summer on the northern border of polar agriculture. In the bright 65 degree for 22 hours, while in equator's latitude 12 hours. In the south of the GES, duration of the day in the summer for at least 50 hours. The number of hours the northern lights during the growing season of the CIC territory varies from 500 to 2,000 in the north to the south. The theme 15. Agrometeorological forecast. 1. Scientific foundation of agrometeorological forecasts. 2. Forecast heat supply, soil moisture, crop yields, crop quality. Agrometeorological forecasts, scientific foundation, assumptions about the impact of the condition and productivity of crops expected agrometeorological conditions. The scientific basis of methods of agrometeorological forecast are physically or biologically based quantitative terms, usually multifactorial, depending on the growth, development, and the productivity of plants or process in systems, the soil, plant, atmosphere in the current, and expected agrometeorological conditions. List of reference. One, ecological code of Astana 27.